كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما صدق الله العلي العظيم.
In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. All praise is due to Allah, whose worth cannot be described by speakers, whose bounties cannot be counted by calculators, and whose claim to obedience cannot be satisfied by those who attempt to do so, whom the height of intellectual courage cannot appreciate, and the divings of understandings cannot reach. He for whose description no limit has been laid down, no time is ordained, no eulogy exists, and no duration is fixed. He brought forth creation through his omnipotence, dispersed the winds through his compassion, and made firm the shaking earth with rocks. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Before we continue with the majalis, could I request all the brothers to stand up and move as far forward possible to maintain segregation, and to move towards my left, so that's easier for the brothers who are coming in later and it won't block the entrance. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Just an important note that if there is an emergency, there are fire exit doors. There's one at the back where the ladies are, and there's one behind this projector screen. So in the case of an emergency, please do utilize them. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Furthermore, during the course of the majalis, volunteers will be coming around with a bucket. So we humbly request you that please dig deep into your pockets and give whatever you can, and inshallah it will be accepted by the Imam, and inshallah you'll be repaid much more than this in this world and in the hereafter. Also, we have a gazebo set outside for shoes. We might need the lobby during the upcoming nights as it gets busier to cater the people, so we humbly request that please do leave all your shoes outside where the gazebo is. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Without further ado, I'd like to call up Brother Zain Shah, who will recite Marsiyah. Please welcome him with the loudest of your salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. A loud salawat, please. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala. मैं इमाम हुसैन के अलैहिस्सलाम की खिदमत में एक नजराना अकीदत पेश करना चाहूँगा, जिसमें इमाम हुसैन ने करबला को कुछ इस तरह से अपना तारुफ कराया. सलवात. तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा, तुझे मुअल्ला बनाना, तुझे मुअल्ला बनाना है फ़कत काम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा। सारे नबियों के जो सरदार मेरे नाना है, सारे नबियों के जो सरदार मेरे नाना है, पुश्त सरवर की सवारी, पुश्त सरवर की सवारी है बस मकाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा। मेरे ही दम से ये जारी निज़ाम खालिक है, मेरे ही दम से ये जारी निज़ाम खालिक है, ज़र्रा ज़र्रा ज़िक्र करता, ज़र्रा ज़र्रा ज़िक्र करता है सुबह व शाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा। तेरी सदा पे तुझे मैं बसाने आया हूँ, तेरी सदा पे तुझे मैं बसाने आया हूँ, ज़ेरे खंजर तुम भी सुनना, ज़ेरे खंजर तुम भी सुनना, ज़रा कलाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा। तूने जो आले अबा का लहू समेता है, तूने जो आले अबा का लहू समेटा है, बन गई खा के शिफा तू, बन गई खा के शिफा तू, है ये इनाम तेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा। मेरे मोमिन कई सदियों से मुंतज़िर होंगे, मेरे मोमिन कई सदियों से मुंतज़िर होंगे, मेरा महदी आके लेगा, मेरा महदी आके लेगा, फिर इंतकाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा। मौलाइनो के सिना पे ये कह रहे थे हुसैन, मौलाइनो के सिना पे ये कह रहे थे हुसैन, जाते जाते खाके करबल, जाते जाते खाके करबल, तुझे सलाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा, तू करबला है अगर तो हुसैन नाम मेरा। सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
Thank you, Brother Zain, for that wonderful recitation. Just to reiterate, on Monday will be Shab Ashur, and our program will run normally. So it will start after Maghrib, and we'll have our majalis, which will be delivered by Sayyid Qazwini. Then at midnight, 12 a.m., we will start an additional majalis, which will be musiba only. So we request all brothers and sisters to attend, inform family members, friends, and other people from different centers. So under one banner, we can commemorate Imam Hussein's martyrdom. Please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Before I call up the next reciter, could I please request that the brothers move a little more forward, ideally past that camera, so that we maintain segregation and so that it's much easier for those brothers coming in later. We're expected to be busy over the couple of nights. And those to my right, please, I request that you stand up and shift all the way to my left. There's pockets of spaces there, there's pockets of spaces here in the front. The stage doesn't bite, so please move as far forward possible. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Without further ado, I'd like to call up Sayyid Muhammad Akil Abbas to recite some poetry in Urdu. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Salawat. Ya Hussein, Shah Karbala, आप हैं करीम बाखुदा, पूरी कीजिए मेरी दुआ, इस बरस के अरबईन में करोड़ ज़ाहिरीन में नाम हो मेरा लिखा हुआ। या मौला, या मौला, मौला ज़व्वार बना दे। या मौला, या मौला, मौला ज़व्वार बना दे। दिल में मेरी रूह में अरमान बसा है, ख्वाब व ख़यालों में मेरे कर्ब व बला है। आँखें में आंसू हैं, लबों पर ये दुआ है, मेरी तड़पने की वजह तुमको पता है। मुझे एक बार सदा दे, मेरी किस्मत को जगा दे, अपना दरबार दिखा दे। या मौला, या मौला, मौला ज़व्वार बना दे। आँखें मेरी काश के दर आपका देखे, हाथ मेरे रोज़े की जाली को जो थामे, लब ये मेरे आपकी चौखट को जो चूमे। लोग मुझे आशिक शबीर पुकारे, मुझे एक बार सदा दे, मेरी किस्मत को जगा दे, अपना दरबार दिखा दे। या मौला, या मौला, मौला ज़व्वार बना दे। या मौला, या मौला, मौला ज़व्वार बना दे। सलवात।
For the safety and long life of Brother Akil, please recite another salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Without further ado, I'd now like to invite Brother Khamis to continue his recitation of poetry in Urdu. Please welcome him with the loudest of your salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद बुलंद तर सलावत। फिर भी सलावत। जब रिदा सर से चिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया गाजी। जब रिदा सर से चिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया गाजी। आले इमरान कहाँ और जिंदान कहाँ, ये बहन कैद हुई, तू न आया गाजी। जब रिदा सर से चिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया गाजी। धूप में तू था शजर, तुझसे आबाद था घर, है बरहना मेरा सर, क्या नहीं तुझको खबर, ऐ अलमदार वफा इस बहर को बाखुदा, तुझसे ढारस थी बड़ी, तू न आया गाजी। जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया गाजी। हमको पानी ना मिले, हमको पानी ना मिले, तेरी खुशबू तो रहे, तेरे बाजू ना कटे, चाहे मशकी जाची दे, ये मगर हो ना सका, तेरे बाजू हैं जुदा, मुझ में है तशना लबी, तू न आया गाजी। जब रिदा सर से छिनी मैं सदा देती रही, तू न आया गाजी। हो गई शाम अलम, लुट गए अहले हरम, रेत पर जलती हुई हो गया ठंडा अलम, पुरसा देने के लिए मुझसे मिलने के लिए आ गए बाबा अली, तू न आया गाजी। कितनी बेबस थी बहन, कितनी बेबस थी बहन ऐ शहनशाह वफा नाम ले ले के मेरा जब ये जालिम ने कहा नाज था जिस पे तुझे अब बुलाओ ना उसे और मैं रोती रही तू ना आया गाजी जब रिदा सर से चिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी कैद खाने में कज़ा कैद खाने में कज़ा जब सकीना को मिली दे के कुर्ते का कफन बच्ची दफनाई गई उस घड़ी नाम तेरा सूरत ना दे अली बस मैं दोहराती रही तू ना आया गाजी जब रिदा सर से चिनी मैं सदा देती रही तू ना आया गाजी आले इमरान कहाँ और जिंदान कहाँ ये बहन कैद हुई तू ना आया गाजी सलावत
Thank you, Brother Khamis, for that heart-wrenching musibah. Could I once more request that all the brothers shift a bit towards the left? Please try as much as you can because we want to make it easier for those brothers coming in. There's pockets of spaces to the center, a bit to the left, so please do try and fill them in. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Like I mentioned earlier, volunteers will be coming around the majalis with buckets like this. The purpose of showing you is so you don't forget and that you give generously. We are in need of funds, and please, we humbly request you to dig deep into your pockets and give as much as you can, and inshallah, you'll be repaid in this life and much more in the hereafter. Please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Recite a second salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, Ashura will be taking place here in this center, and we will have Sayyid reciting the Maqtal. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome the Sayyid onto the minbar and continue his series of lectures. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أنبياء الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة. يا ليتنا كنا معكم فنفوز فوزا عظيما. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. To be able to invite others to your religion, to introduce your religion to others, it's a privilege. It's a blessing. It's a gift from God. If you serve God with your heart, with your thought, with your reason, with your mind, with your speech. If you become muballigh, reaching out to others to guide them to the path of God, that is the most honorable and the most privileged service you are doing. But at the same time, it's the most arduous, it's the most difficult, it's the most critical and also dangerous role. Some of you came to me and said, we'd love to help Islam, to be muballigh, to study religion in the seminary, so we can help, we can preach, we can guide, which is very good, excellent. But at the same time, it's not easy. It's very critical. This is the most difficult job. Why? Because it's not only about speaking. It's about living Islam. It's about being the embodiment of the Holy Quran. It's about being humble. It's about dedicating your life to serve. Not just your time, but your life, your entire life. And therefore many scholars, mentors, teachers, they succeed. Others, they do not succeed. Because they speak, they don't practice. When it comes to da'wah and tabligh, there are two important things, my friends. Two foundations that makes da'wah and preaching successful. One foundation is based on the content of the message, what you are presenting to others, what you are telling them, the essence of your religion, the essence. So you know what to say, you know how to say it, you know how to present it. You don't misrepresent Islam and Quran. So the content is very important. The content has to be true. But the second element, which is equally important, if not more important, is the characteristics and the manners and the intention and the personality of the speaker himself, the servant himself. Is he a true person or not? Is he using the minbar, the mosque, the imam bargah or religion for business, or no, because he is in love with this business? He loves it. He loves it. He gives himself to it. This is very important. And this is why God says, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا. Listen to this verse. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. Who is better than? Who is better than the one who preaches for God, invites people to God, to his religion, but at the same time, وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. He does good, he does righteous, he's honest, he's pious. وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. So they are joined together. If you don't do good, you cannot preach. You may speak, but you don't preach. You are not a mentor. You are not a teacher. You are a speaker, vibrant speaker, but you can't change the society. If you don't change yourself, you cannot change the society. And therefore, the first important prerequisite and credential and requirement to work as a da'iyah, muballigh, as someone who invites. See, when you travel around the town here, many places speak about da'wah. This is the Islamic da'wah center. Da'wah, da'wah, da'wah. But where are the Muslims that you have invited? Where are they? Show me. We claim that we are inviting, but sometimes we are disinviting. Sometimes we don't attract because of our personalities and our characters. It's not compatible with the message. It's not compatible. God speaks about Jesus. He says, وَجَعَلْنَاهُ مَثَلًا لِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلِ. Jesus was not just a preacher, mere preacher, because you can give the book to anyone and he can read the book to people. But is he going to be successful? Not necessarily. God says Jesus was successful because he was a role model in his personality, in his character. He was sincere. He was an exemplary figure. وَجَعَلْنَاهُ مَثَلًا لِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلِ. God says about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. He's a fine example. He's a fine model for you to follow. His character is important. His honesty, his integrity. He speaks the truth. Even Quraysh who didn't like him, they had to call him As-Sadiq Al-Amin. This was his title before he started his mission. As-Sadiq Al-Amin, the truthful, the honest. This is why the Prophet was successful. And God says in Surah As-Saf, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. Oh, the community of believers, why don't you practice what you preach? You don't practice, you just preach. This is a big sin. Do you know why many parents today, many elders, many teachers, many scholars, they fail in their mission? Even parents, fathers and mothers, they cannot bring their kids to religion because they are not an example. They are not a fine example. They invite their kids with their tongues, but not with their deeds, not with their hearts, not with their actions and their behaviors. This is why kids, they notice this double standard. My father says I have to be honest, but he's not honest. My father tells me to speak the truth, but I find him to lie. They run away from religion. لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Why Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the family of the Prophet, were very successful? Because they were the embodiment of the true Islam. They lived Islam. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, مَا أَمَرْتُكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ. I never asked you to do something, but I was the first one to practice it. I would not come to the pulpit and tell you, oh people, do this, without me doing it first and then asking you second. وَمَا نَهَيْتُكُمْ عَنْ شَيْءٍ. I never ask you to stop doing something unless I was the first one to stop it. I would not practice it. Then I come and ask you. This is why Imam Ali was effective. This is Imam Ali built the personalities, the characters of people. Many examples of his disciples. They are almost infallible, almost. Maytham al-Tammar, Kumayl ibn Ziyad, Rushayd al-Hajari, almost infallible. Because they saw in him an example of honesty. He would not say something here on the pulpit and he does something else in private. He doesn't do that. The inside and the outside are the same. This is why they were successful. We cannot preach before we practice it ourselves. The first stage, practice it. Change yourself, then you can reach out to others. Then you will be successful. I'll tell you a story of a man who's not infallible. He's not imam. He's not saint. He's an ordinary person. He's sheikh. He's not even sayyid. He's sheikh. Sheikh Abbas Al-Qummi from the city of Qum, the one who compiled the book of Mafatih al-Jinan, the book of supplication, Mafatih al-Jinan. This man wrote other books too. One of them is the stages of the hereafter, Manazil al-Akhirah. What we're going to see after we die. We're going to go through several phases and stages, manazil. So he wrote a book. But he didn't tell his family that I am the author of this book. Even if his family did not know that, Sheikh Abbas is the author. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this self-control? So the local imam at the local mosque, every day, between the two prayers, he will take a chapter of that book and read it to the audience. Among the audience was the father of Sheikh Abbas. He was a shopkeeper. So he was next to the mosque. So he would pray in that mosque. And he would go and listen to this imam of the mosque reading from that book, Manazil al-Akhirah. And people are mesmerized when this sheikh reads about these stages of Akhirah. So he comes home and he tells his son, listen, he tells his son, Sheikh Abbas, he says, son, I wish you can write a book like this, Manazil al-Akhirah. I wish. And the son never told his father, Baba, this is my book. I've written this book. This sheikh is reading my book. He never told him. Look at self-control. Look at when you crush your ego, you crush it. You don't even tell your father about what you did, let alone others. He became Sheikh Abbas Al-Qummi. He became this a human legend today. His book is found in every house. This is the blessing. This is the barakah. When you crush your ego, when you say to yourself, no, I'm not working for fame. I'm working for God. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Who is better than that person who works for God, invites for God, وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا. He or she does righteous. They have self-control. So my friends, the first quality that I need more than anyone else is that we practice what we preach. If we don't practice it, let's not mention it to people. من نصب نفسه للناس إماما فعليه بتعليم نفسه قبل تعليم غيره. مولى أمير المؤمنين عليه الصلاة والسلام. You know what he says? Whoever appoints himself as a leader, imam means a leader, to his community, to his family, to his society, فعليه, he or she must teach himself before teaching others. فعليه بتعليم نفسه قبل تعليم غيره. ومعلم نفسه ومؤدبها أجدر بالاحترام من معلم غيره. And the one who is able to refine himself, to teach himself, he is more honorable than the one who's teaching others. Because teaching others is easy, but teaching yourself is difficult. This is why I say, our job is difficult. We are crazy. We chose this job, believe me. We are crazy. We are gambling. We don't know what it takes. We think it's easy, but it's not easy. As you grow, year by year, month by month, week by week, You realize that your job is difficult. I should quit. I do not fit this job. It's a risk. We are taking a risk. We only have hope in the shafa'ah of Imam Hussein. That's it. That's it. So number one, لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Before we pass the message to others, whether you are a father or a mother or a Maulana or anyone in the society or an elder brother who wants to advise his sisters, his siblings, you have to practice it yourself. Practice and then pass it to others. Once you pass it, you will succeed. You will succeed in that. This is number one. Number two, what should we say to the people? Again, look at chapter 33, Surah Al-Ahzab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the preachers, the muballighin, the speakers, the maulanas, the scholars, the khutaba. What does He say about them? الَّذِينَ يُبَلِّغُونَ رِسَالَاتِ اللَّهِ. Those who deliver the messages of God. What does that mean? It means you do not deliver your message. You do not tell people about your own desire, what you like. Because some people, they do not deliver the message of God. They deliver what they like. They speak about their own desires, their own convictions, their own whims, but not necessarily what God wants. This is why they fail in their mission. And there is a big difference between Risalatullah, the messages of God, and our messages, the messages of human. Big difference. Why big difference? Because God is a neutral. God is not biased. God is the God of all people, those who believe and those who do not believe. And God gives to all people. He's so kind and so generous. You know, in the month of Rajab, there is a passage in the dua, in the supplication. يَا مَنْ أَرْجُوهُ لِكُلِّ خَيْرٍ وَآمَنُ سَخَطَهُ عِنْدَ كُلِّ شَرٍ. Then you reach this sentence. يَا مَنْ يُعْطِي مَنْ سَأَلَهُ يَا مَنْ يُعْطِي مَنْ لَمْ يَسْأَلُهُ. O the Lord who gives to those who ask Him, and He also gives to those who do not even ask Him and do not recognize Him. They don't believe in Him, but He still gives. Because He's not biased. He's not going to say, oh, you worship me, I'm going to give you, and that one does not worship me. No. The one who doesn't worship Him, he has to face the consequences on the day of judgment. He will definitely. But here in this life, God, like a father, generous father, who gives to all His children. He doesn't discriminate. Therefore, God is not partisan. God does not belong to the Conservative Party or the Labour Party or the Liberal Democrat or the Republican Party or this party or that party. God does not belong to any party. God does not belong to any gender. God does not belong to any specific race or color or community. God is a universal God. What do you say in your dua? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. He's the Lord of everyone. Therefore, when He speaks the truth. He's not biased. When He says do so, He's saying it for your sake, not His sake. He's Ghani. You know what I tell the Christians? I'm going to say that in 2 nights. One of the main differences between Islam and Christianity is that we believe that God is self-sufficient. He doesn't need us. He doesn't need anyone. He doesn't need our worshipping. He doesn't need our offering. He can survive without us. So God is non-biased. God is merciful. God is wise. God is omnipresent, omnipotent. God knows what is going. God knows about your need even before you speak it. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. We have a created man. We know his or her needs, and we are closer to you than your jugular vein. وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. This is why when He says something, He's accurate. He's not burdening us. What he says, something, it works for you. You need it. Though you think I don't need it, but you really need it. It's like the child who doesn't need the medicine. He cries when he sees medicine, but he needs the medicine. He doesn't know. He's a child. Sometimes we act like children. We say we don't need the prayers, but you need it. You need this connection. Whereas Risalatun Nas, if I want to speak about my whims, my desires, and my convictions, and my personal ideas, I'm going to create a disaster because I am biased. My knowledge is limited. I am an emotional person. I get angry sometimes and I say something bad. Sometimes we say things out of ignorance, sometimes out of frustration and anger, sometimes out of bigotry we say something. But God is not bigot. God is not angry. God says the truth. This is the difference, my friends. So the muballigh has to speak on behalf of God, what God says, not what he says. What God says. This is important, remember. الَّذِينَ يُبَلِّغُونَ رِسَالَاتِ اللَّهِ. You know, when you read the Islamic history, you get sad. You really get sad and disappointed. Why? Some of the greatest scholars, they were biased. They were not honest when they wrote their books. And these are not magazines. These are books, history books, books of tafsir. I'll give you an example, simple example. We have Muhammad ibn Jarir al-Tabari. His title is Imam Muhammad ibn Jarir al-Tabari. He's historian. And he's also an exegist. Exegist means he's mufassir of the Quran. He translates the Quran, interprets the Quran. So in his book, Tarikh al-Umami wal-Muluk, the history of nations and sultans, kings, he comes to this story. The story is mentioned in the Quran. It's a verse in the Quran, Surah Al-Shu'ara. God says to his prophet when he was in Mecca, Ya Rasulallah, before you begin preaching to others, begin with your own family, immediate family. وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ. Begin with your family. So the Prophet, as you know, many of you know the story, he invited his 40 men of Bani Hashim. This is in Mecca, in the beginning of his mission, the beginning, very beginning. He said to them, God has appointed me as a messenger. I'm the messenger of God. I have a mission. This mission would lead into eternal success. So who's ready to help me in this mission and this task? Allah provided that. Allah an yakuna akhi wa wasiyi wa waziri wa khalifati min ba'di. That person who's going to stand with me now, he is going to be with the order of God. He's going after me, he's going to be my successor, my khalifa, my deputy, my wazir, my aide. No one said anything. The second time, the third time, every time, a boy of 13 years old, he stands. He says, Ya Rasul, I will be with you. I'll defend you with my soul. The Prophet says to him, sit down, sit down. Let's hear the others. Nobody answered the Prophet. On the third day, the Prophet took the small hand of Ali, 13 years old. He said, Ala ishhadu, be witness that this man who's ready to help me now in my mission, in my da'wah, in my outreach, he's going to be my successor. You know what this historian writes in his book? You know what he says? He says, then the Prophet stood, took the hand of Ali, and said, then Ali is going to be my brother, وَكَذَا وَكَذَا وَكَذَا, and so, and so, and so. He doesn't say waziri khalifati. He deletes that. Or he only puts the word brother. Can you imagine? A famous historian. See, when we follow our desires, sometimes because of fear and intimidation, I don't know. Because in his tafsir, he puts the whole sentence. But when it comes to the book of history, he deletes. He says, he puts so and so and so. وَكَذَا وَكَذَا وَكَذَا. Sometimes out of fear, out of intimidation. We don't know. But we have to deliver. Another story. Imam Malik ibn Anas, great Imam of the Maliki tradition. He's the student of Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. All four Imams, all of them, Abu Hanifa and Imam Malik, Imam Abi Hanifa and Imam Malik, they were direct students of the Imam. Ahmad ibn Hanbal and Shafi'i, indirectly they studied under the Imam, indirectly. So all of them, they received their knowledge, their wisdom from Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. But Imam Malik, when he writes his book at the request of the Abbasid Caliph, Al-Mansur, the Abbasid Caliph who built Baghdad, the city of Baghdad, he writes a book on jurisprudence, Islamic law, and book of hadith. He never mentioned a single hadith from Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Not a single hadith. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Maybe out of fear of the caliph. I really don't know. I can't judge him, but this is a reality. Imam Ali, the Prophet says about him, أنا مدينة العلم وعلي بابها فمن أراد المدينة فليأتها من بابها. If you want to have access to my city of knowledge, then you have to go through the gate of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. And this man, honorable man, Imam Malik, he's a scholar. He's the most famous scholar, faqih, jurist in the city of Medina. He writes a book, he never mentions a single hadith of Imam Ali in his book. يبلغون رسالات الله, my friends. The good preacher who speaks on behalf of God, what God tells him to say, you have to say it. You should not fear. Nowadays, we see in many Muslim countries, the Imam, the Khatib on a Friday, when he preaches, and he's supposed to remind people of piety, the fear of God, righteousness, Islamic principles, he must, at the end, he must pray for the Sultan, for the king, for the Emir. Have you seen them or not? Am I right or wrong? They have to pray for the government. They have to pray for the government. This is their tradition. Sometimes they receive the whole sermon, the Friday sermon, from Wizaratul Awqaf, from the Ministry of Religious Endowment. They send them the sermon. He has to read what the Sultan wants him to say. So they do not deliver Risalatillah. They deliver Risalat, the messages of the Sultan, not God. And they praise them. And they pray for them. And you see that even in the heart of the sacred mosque in Mecca, during Salatul Taraweeh in Ramadan, during the holiest night, Laylatul Qadr, he spends few minutes, the Imam, praising the king, praying for the king. So this is the second. We have to speak on behalf of God, because God speaks the truth. Sometimes we do not speak the truth. Humans do not speak the truth sometimes because of some circumstances. They don't speak because of some reasons. They speak about their own narrow interests, but not necessarily the truth. And then we come to the third condition. وَيَخْشَوْنَهُ وَلَا يَخْشَوْنَ أَحَدًا إِلَّا اللَّهِ. The speaker needs to be courageous. If a alim, a scholar, if a marja', if a speaker, if a maulana does not have courage, then we have a problem. We have a problem. They have to have courage. Not only piety, but courage too. Persistency too. He has to be consistent, persistent. He has to move forward. He has to deliver the message without fear. Without the fear of the Sultan, without the fear of the people, without the fear of his congregation. His mind has to be free. He has to be courageous. Today, sometimes I meet myself some scholars who tell me, Sayyid, we know the truth. We know who's who after the Prophet. We have read these things. But if I tell the people I'm going to lose my position, I'm going to lose my salary, I'm going to lose my job, I tell him, which is more important, God, Paradise or your job, your salary? Which one? Which one? Why don't you have a trust in God? Is God going to leave you alone? He's going to desert you? All the prophets were kicked out of their communities. Ibrahim was kicked out of Iraq and Palestine. Prophet Muhammad, they kicked him out of Mecca. Moses the same. All the prophets. But that increased them in their value and their honor. Because you fear that you lose your salary, you don't speak the truth. God says in chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُمُونَ مَا أَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْبَيِّنَاتِ وَالْهُدَى مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا بَيَّنَّاهُ لِلنَّاسِ فِي الْكِتَابِ أُولَٰئِكَ يَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّاعِنُونَ. Let me translate. Those who conceal what we have sent through our books, scriptures, and we made it clear to the masses, to the people, they still conceal it because of their own interest, God is going to curse them. And the believers are going to curse them. What does it mean, the curse of God? You know the meaning of la'na? God says, you are not part of my mercy. You are excluded. Al-la'na at-tardu min rahmatillah. God said, you are excluded from my mercy. Because you conceal the truth. I send the truth in the scripture. You are supposed to tell the people, but because you feared for your position, for your salary, you didn't say it, you didn't deliver it. We have to speak. We have to be courageous. And God will take care of me. You know, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when Jibreel came to him on the way back to Yathrib, to Medina, from the farewell Hajj, يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك. Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5. Ibn Abbas, the cousin of the Prophet, Abdullah ibn Abbas, honorable man, very honorable man, the cousin of the Prophet, the student of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Ibn Abbas says the Prophet had some hesitation in his heart that if I tell people that Ali is going to be the leader, they're going to reject that. Immediately they're going to accuse me of favoritism. Oh, because Ali is his son-in-law, because Ali is his cousin, then he's appointing him as a successor. You know, because people still lived the time of Jahiliyyah. Still, many of them. You cannot, transform people overnight. You can't. It takes some time. Takes some time, because sometimes ignorance is deeply rooted. It's like sickness. When you get a flu, how many days we need, Dr. Kazem? A week? An average? A week? Huh? You have to tell me. 2 days? 2 weeks in Manchester, but 1 week in California. It doesn't go away. It takes time. So Jahiliyyah, it takes some time. You don't wake up in the morning, you are the best person, most compassionate, most forgiving, most loving. You donate, you give your... It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Maybe we have 1 or 2 exceptions. But normally it takes time. So the Prophet said, maybe they are going to accuse me. Allah immediately said to him, Ya Rasulullah, listen, Wallahu ya'asimuka minan nas. I am going to defend you, protect you. You have to deliver this message. Deliver it. I'm giving you this message. I'm going, ya'asimuka, protection. I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry. Don't worry about what people are going to tell you. You have to go ahead and deliver the message. And this is exactly what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. And many people on that day, they did not like this. Someone came and he said, Muhammad, you asked me to pray, I prayed. Asked us to fast, we did. Asked us to pay charity, we did. Wasn't enough for you? You are taking the arm of your cousin. حتى أخذت بيد ابن عمك فأمرته. You make him emir above us. The Prophet said, this is God. This is not me. If you don't want to accept, it's up to you. We should not worry about people. My friends, anything I say here, tonight and every night, some people are going to like, some people are going to dislike. Believe me. Believe me. I never left a session where 100% of the people said, Sayyid, you are right. Some of them would come and they tell me, you are wrong. 2 days ago, when I spoke about that this is our country, we have to have sense of belonging. We are born, raised, educated, we got married here, we are working here. So Islam tells me, take care of your country. And even if we have some aspects of our foreign policy that are unjust and corrupt, we have to fix them. We cannot retreat. We cannot leave this country. Where do you go? Show me. Show me another place. You have to work hard. You have to struggle. The Prophet didn't leave Mecca and Medina and he went away. He didn't do that. There is a prophet who left his community. His name is Yunus. وَذَنُّونِ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مُغَاضِبًا فَظَنَّ أَن لَّن نَّقْدِرَ عَلَيْهِ. He said, I cannot change. God chided him, criticized him, and God punished him. Punished him. You know his story. So we cannot leave this country. We have to love. We have to fix. I know some aspects of foreign policy are terrible, bad. I know that. Same thing in America. But we have to change. And we have to love this country. Someone came to me. He said, I have hard time, to love this country. I can't. I can't love this country. I said to him, okay. It's up to you. It's up to you. People have different thinkings, different upbringing, different mentalities. So people are not going to be okay with you sometimes. Do you know when a preacher sometimes speaks about smoking, don't smoke, many people are going to be upset. They don't like him. If he speaks sometimes in some areas, believe me, in some areas, Muslim communities, when you speak about hijab, they get upset with you. Don't mention hijab here. Why? Because the wives and the daughters of the board of trustees and board of directors, they are not hijabis. So don't mention hijab. In some areas you speak about khums, don't speak about khums because we don't pay khums. In some areas, even if you say don't drink alcohol, they become upset with you. Whatever you say. If you speak about right of women, men are going to be upset. If I speak about right of husbands, wives are going to be upset. Whatever you say, there are some people who accept and some people who reject. Then what should I say? What shall I say? What shall I do? I have to see what God says. Ridha Allah. Ridha Allah, the consent of God, not the consent of people. We don't work for the people, we work for God. We work for God. وَيَخْشَوْنَهُ, they fear God. وَلَا يَخْشَوْنَ أَحَدًا إِلَّا اللَّهِ. You should not fear others. Speak the truth and be honest and don't worry. Don't worry. Speak the truth. Be honest. Don't worry about anything. وَيَخْشَوْنَهُ وَلَا يَخْشَوْنَ أَحَدًا إِلَّا اللَّهِ. We have to put the consent and satisfaction of God above everything else. We are not working for people because at the end of the day we're going to stand before God, not stand before people. The accountability is before God. I'll tell you a story that happened in a village. And it tells you a lot about you have to do what you think it's right. Do it. Don't be worried about what people are going to say. You know, many times men and women in our community, they become depressed, sad, because of the judgment of the people around them. Don't worry about the people around you. Who are those people? Are they immaculate? Are they themselves perfect? No. So don't worry about their judgment. Don't. Go about your day, go about your work, go about your life. Don't worry about what people always judging. And 99% of the people, not 99%, the majority, according to the Quran. According to the Quran, they follow falsehood. They reject the truth. The Quran says, وَأَكْثَرُهُمْ لِلْحَقِّ كَارِهُونَ. The majority of the people, they don't like haqq. They don't like haqq. Because people, they look for a tailor-made Islam for them. When Islam works for their interests, it's a good Islam, good religion. But if it doesn't work, this is a bad Islam. This is the nature of a human. A story that happened in a village of a man and a son. And they had a donkey, so they had to travel from this village into another village. So they were riding the donkey, the man and the son, and the third one is the donkey. So they came across a group of men sitting there. They looked at the man and the son and they said, what terrible people they are. Look how they abuse this animal. Two people, heavyweight people, are sitting on this donkey. So they got embarrassed, the man and the son. So the man said to his son, listen, one of us has to walk and the other has to ride. So the son said, Daddy, I walk, I'm younger than you, and you ride the donkey. So the father was riding the donkey and the son was behind him. They came across a second group who said, look at this terrible father, he's merciless. He's allowing his young son to walk and he's riding the donkey. The father said to his son, let's switch, Daddy. Let's switch, my son. This does not work. So this time the son was riding the donkey and the father was walking. They came across the third group who said, look at this undutiful, rude son. Look. He doesn't have adab. He's riding the donkey and he's allowing his father to walk. So whatever you do, people are going to criticize you. Believe me. People criticize. You have to do your work. Don't worry about what people are saying. If you believe this is right, and it is right, then you have to follow. Regarding hijab, I say to the women in my community who are hesitant. We have a judge in America, American judge, fourth generation. Her family came to America more than 100 years ago. She became a lawyer and then she became a judge. She decided after going to Hajj that now it's time for me to put on the hijab. She's white, American, honorable lady. But she said that night that I decided to wear the hijab in the morning, it was a long night for me. Long night. I did not know how to face the people tomorrow when I go to the court. But she said, I put my trust in God. As long as God is asking me to do this, why should I worry? I'm not doing something bad. I'm not doing something illegal. So she puts on the hijab and she goes to the court. The people in the court who know her, she's a judge, they were shocked. What happened? Someone said to her, are you in a religious holiday? Someone asked her, do you have chemotherapy? You are covering, She said, no, this is God. This is my religion. And they respect her even more now. When you respect God, people are going to respect you. Don't worry. God is going to defend you. God is going to be on your side. So that is the third point. And the fourth requirement, my friends, is that when we preach to our communities and families and children, we should not overburden them with things that they cannot deliver. Islam is the religion of easiness. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرِ. God introduced religion to make life easier for us, not difficult. In chapter 4, God says, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ أَن يُخَفِّفَ عَنْكُمْ وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. God wants to remove the burden. يُخَفِّف means to remove the burden from you, because God knows your capacities. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ. For man has been created weak, emotionally weak, psychologically weak, even physically weak. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. What do we read in the Quran? I just read it in the Qunut today. رَبَّنَا لَا تُحَمِّلْنَا وَلَا تُحَمِّلْنَا مَا لَا طَاقَةَ لَنَا بِهِ. Do not overburden us with things that we cannot carry. We cannot do, because we're going to fail. And you don't want us to fail. So religion came to facilitate life, to make it easier. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرِ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرِ. He's not intending difficulties and hardships and nightmares for you. He wants your life to be beautiful, to enjoy religion. Religion should not be burdensome on you. Religion should not be nightmare on you. You should enjoy it. Practice it with enjoyment. But sometimes some of the scholars or the preachers, some of them, not all, probably the minority, not all, they give hard time to people. I'll give you a few examples. The other day, a lady came to me. She said, I asked a scholar about 9 years old daughter who has to begin wearing the hijab. She refuses to wear the hijab. She says, I can't. I go to a school. I am the only Muslim in that school, in fact, in that town probably. And I can't. Sometimes it's dangerous, sometimes. A scholar was telling her, you have to force her. You have to force her to wear the hijab. You can't force people, my friends. Yes, you may convince her, okay? You may counsel her, you may encourage her, you may educate her, but not forcing. Why? Because forcing is going to backfire. It's going to backfire. I've seen when hijab is enforced by force, by violence, by anger, it backfires. People throw it away later on. People rebel against it. This is not a good example. Do not overburden people. Someone was asking another scholar that I live in northern Sweden, and the days during Ramadan, the summertime, the sunset is about 11, sometimes 11:30 p.m., northern Sweden. So what shall I do? Do you have a solution? You know, to go to Sweden. A scholar was asked by a group of young ones that, you know, can't afford money. I can't part, can't pay my bill. And throughout the whole year, imagine 360 days you have to fast. Who can do this among you? Raise your hand. Can you do this? This is not a practical. This is not a reasonable answer, not a practical answer. Do not tell people something that they cannot do. Don't say this. This is ridiculous. Be practical, be pragmatic. Understand people's situation. Islam is about fiqh, my friends. Islamic law is about understanding your situation first and then giving you the answer, not about punishing you. You know, this year, a lady came from Hajj. One of the deeds of Hajj, the rites of Hajj, was not done correctly. And the alim tells her, you have to go next year and repeat your Hajj again. The Hajj cost $10,000, you know. It's not easy. These are not good answers. Another scholar was advising women, so if you want to protect yourself, all women, stay indoors. Don't leave your homes. Is this practical? Can you say this to a lady who lives here, who has to take her kids to school, to go for shopping, to work herself? Stay indoors. Don't leave your homes. Another scholar, I heard him was saying, because we have a surplus of women in our society, so I encourage you, it is mustahab to marry four wives. I don't know what his wife did for him that night, you know. I wish I can know. These are not answers, my friends. These are not rational answers. Islam is the religion of insaniyah, humanity. You have to know what to say. You have to give the proper answer. Put yourself in that situation. Put yourself. Let me say something else, okay? Someone else was asked about gays and lesbians. He said, we have to murder them all. I said to him, listen, if your daughter was lesbian, would you give the same answer? I swear by God, you would not give the same answer. Because she's your daughter. You would not kill her. So why do you give this wrong answer to the people? Why? Why? Fiqh is about wisdom. Fiqh is about farsightedness. Fiqh is about common sense. Common sense. Is God there to punish me or to bestow His mercy on me? You know why many people are leaving religion? Because of these answers, not because of Islam, not because of Quran, not because of Ahlul Bayt or Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. But because of these backward mentalities who do not understand Islam. If you want to really preach, then you have to know what you say. Another person, I know him, he asks people to go for tahajjud, Salatul Layl. He misses the morning prayers, Salatul Fajr, he himself. How can you ask people, the young ones? It's good, of course, it's good to encourage people, but you have to practice it yourself. You have to do it yourself and then ask people. But if you miss the morning prayers, how can you ask people, the young ones, to go for tahajjud? لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. The religion of Islam is based on rationality, is based on humanity. We are humans. God is treating us like humans. We have honor, we have value, and God understands our deficiencies. We are deficient. We are insufficient. We are not perfect. We don't live on earth. We are not angels here. We are not angels. Angels are there. We are humans. We have mistakes. We commit a sin every day. This is why God says, once you commit a sin, I come to me. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي. Even if your sin is gross, is terrible, I'm not going to shut my door. I would still accept you. I will admit you into my mercy. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيب أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. If they come and ask you, where is Lord? Tell them He's here. You don't have to go far. يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. O my servants who did gross sins, excessiveness of sins, terrible sins. لَا تَقْنَطُوا مِنْ رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ. Do not give up on God's mercy. Don't give up. Don't be despondent. Still have hope. Still say God is merciful. I know I did this, but still He would open His doors for me. This is Islam. A religion of hope, my friends. Hope. You have to infuse people with hope, with optimism. Don't shut the doors. Don't make Islam look dark, looks backward. These are some of the conditions that has to be found in every father, every mother, every preacher, every Maulana, every Sayyid, every Shaykh, every teacher, every mentor. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, one of his characteristics is that he managed to do tarbiyah for his companions. Tarbiyah. You know, they were only 72, but you know those 72 were equal to 72 million people. Those 72 individuals were equal to 72 million people. Because he invested his time raising them, nurturing them, teaching them, refining them. This is why they didn't leave him. On the eve of Ashura, Imam Hussein says, my companion, Ashabi, this army, he's after me alone, not you. I am the one who's most wanted. So I am urging you tonight to leave me. Leave this camp. Survive. They refused. One after the other they stood. They said, Ya Aba Abdullah, anabqa ba'dak? We live after you? I don't love this life after you. This life is not worth it after you, Aba Abdullah. We are going to stay with you. And they left before Imam Hussein. They gave their lives before Imam Hussein. He was the last one. This is the companion. Those are the friends. This is the Islamic society. This is the true believer, the true mu'min. One of them is Muslim ibn Aqil. Who is Muslim ibn Aqil? Why do we celebrate him tonight? Why we commemorate him? Why do we mention his name? What did he do? Many people do not even know him. She knows him, I know. May Allah bless you. Muslim ibn Aqil is the first cousin of Imam Hussein. His father is Aqil ibn Abi Talib. Amir al-Mu'mineen had 3 brothers. One of them was Aqil. And Aqil became blind. He lost his sight at the end of his life. So Muslim moved to the house of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And he was raised with Imam Hassan and Hussein alayhim as-salam in the same house. So to Imam Hassan and Hussein, he was like a brother, not a cousin. He was like a brother. And he had a strong affection to Imam Hassan and Hussein. He was very close to them. This is why Imam Hussein, when he wanted to send him, he wrote to the people of Kufa that I am dispatching my ambassador, وَالْمُفَضَّلْ مِنْ أَهْلِ بَيْتِي. He is the most favorite among my family, Muslim ibn Aqil, because he knows him, Imam Hussein. A man who was sage, who was wise, far-sighted, and loyal. Because Imam Hussein, when he was in Mecca, he received many letters of invitation from people of Kufa, people of Madain. Madain is near Baghdad. From people of Basra, other places in Iraq, other places in Yemen too, that we want you to come, Ya Aba Abdullah. We are fed up with this regime. أقبل فقد أينعت الثمار. The land turned green. Fruits are ripened. Okay? Flowers are blossomed. So we want you to come. We want you to come. This is the right time to come to lead the revolution against Bani Umayyah. وَإِنَّمَا نَحْنُ جُنْدٌ لَكَ مُجَنَّدًا. We are your soldiers. We will fight with you against them. We are your soldiers. So Imam Hussein wanted to test the water. So he sent Muslim ibn Aqil, because Muslim is wise. Imam wanted to have a survey, to study the situation, to evaluate the situation, to see whether those people are true or not. And you know, many of those people who sent these letters, they stood on a day of Ashura fighting against him. Imam Hussein called them by their names. Fulan, Fulan, Fulan. Was it this your letter that you sent me? Letter of invitation? Can you imagine? They sent letter of invitation. Imam Hussein showed them these letters on the day of Ashura. See how man changes? See how the soul shifts? See the power of dunya, the attachment to the dunya and materialism? So Imam called Muslim and consulted him. Muslim said, of course, I am ready, Ya Ibn Rasulullah. Wherever you send me, I'm going to go. And Imam Hussein told him, maybe there is a risk there. He said, I'm ready, Ya Ibn Rasul. I give my soul. So Muslim left Mecca. He came to Medina. He came to the Masjid al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He did his prayers inside the masjid. He bid farewell to the rest of the family of Bani Hashim in Medina. He bid farewell to the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then he took off to Kufa. The Prophet says about him, يُقْتَلُ ابْنُ عَقِيلٍ فِي نُصْرَةِ وَلَدِيَ الْحُسَيْنِ. Can you imagine? This is almost 50 years ago. 50 years before, the Prophet says, يُقْتَلُ ابْنُ عَقِيلٍ. The son of Aqil is going to be murdered in the path of supporting and helping my grandson Hussein. يُقْتَلُ ابْنُ عَقِيلٍ فِي نُصْرَةِ وَلَدِيَ الْحُسَيْنِ تَدْمَعُ عَلَيْهِ عُيُونُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. The believers, the community of believers are going to shed their tears for him. وَيَبْكِيهِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. Even the angels, the nearest angels are going to sob for him and cry for him. This is 50 years before. And then Ibn Aqil goes to Kufa. He arrives into the house of Al-Mukhtar ibn Ubayd al-Thaqafi, because Imam Hussein asked him to stay in that house. And people knew about his arrival. They come from all corners to pay allegiance to him, to support him, to promise him help. So he writes a letter to Imam Hussein that I came to Kufa. People are ready to support you. In the first few days, 18,000 people paid allegiance, did bay'ah. They pledged their support. So أقبل إلينا يا ابن رسول الله. When you receive my letter, please do come to Kufa. Kufa is ready to receive you, ya ibn Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. These are lessons, my friends. These are lessons. These are lessons for me and you. But then Yazid ibn Muawiyah knew about what is happening in Damascus. He deposed the governor of Kufa, Nu'man ibn Bashir. He appointed Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, a very ruthless dictator, murderer. He was the governor of Basra. He asked them to move immediately from Basra to Kufa because Hussein is about to go to Kufa. And I want you to move. Leave your post in Basra. Go to Kufa immediately. Within 5 days, he traveled this big distance from Basra to Kufa. He arrived into Kufa. He went to the Grand Mosque of Kufa. He went to the pulpit. He asked for people to come to the mosque. They gathered the entire men of Kufa in that mosque. And he gave a very fiery speech. He threatened them. He intimidated them. If I realize that any one of you is siding with Hussein, he's going to be murdered immediately. We don't demolish his house. We torture his family. So people started to shift away from Muslim. He was in the house of Al-Mukhtar. He left the house of Mukhtar into the house of Hani ibn Urwa. When you go to Kufa, to Masjid al-Kufa, you're going to see the shrine of Hani and also the shrine of Mukhtar. Stand there. I advise you, when you go, pay respect to Hani ibn Urwa. Great man, great companion, Sahabi of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and one of the close disciples of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. One of the greatest scholars. Hani ibn Urwa hosted Muslim in his house, but then because of spying, there were spies in the midst of the people. They discovered the place of Hani ibn Urwa. Ibn Ziyad, the governor of Kufa, summoned Hani to his palace, and they said to him, Muslim is in your house. Hand him to me, bring him to me. He said, Wallahi al-Azim, Wallahi al-Azim, I am not going to give you Muslim ibn Aqil. Look at loyalty. Even if you murder me, I'm not going to hand him to you. He's my guest. He's an honorable man. Do you want me to surrender him to you? I'm not going to do that. Look at loyalty here. See, some people are disloyal and some people are very loyal. This is the society, my friends. Those are people around you. God says in the first day about the companions of the Prophet, in the battle of Uhud. God says in chapter 3, مِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الدُّنْيَا وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرِيدُ الْآخِرَةِ. Some of you are enchanted and fascinated by the dunya. You seek this dunya, but others, they seek the akhirah. They are willing to give their souls. And this story is always, all the times, in every place, in every corner. So, Hani ibn Urwa was detained in the palace. At that time, Muslim had to leave the house of Hani because Hani is imprisoned now in the prison of Kufa. He cannot stay in his house any longer. So he left the house of Hani. He was walking in the streets of Kufa. In the beginning, some people were surrounding him, with him. But slowly, the number dwindled. He came into a mosque to do his Maghrib prayers. There were 300 people with him. By the time he finished the prayers, 30 people were left. By the time he left the mosque, 10 people were with him. By the time he went into the street, he was alone because of the pressure of Bani Umayyah. Because Bani Umayyah were threatening anyone who joins Muslim is going to be murdered. So the wife comes to her husband and tells him, come back. The mother comes to her son, come back home, don't stay with Muslim. He stayed alone, this man. Allahu Akbar. So he was walking in the streets of Kufa, aimlessly. He doesn't know where to go until he became very thirsty. So he stood at the doorstep of a lady. He didn't know the lady. She didn't know him. She opened the door. Her name is Taw'a. Can you imagine this lady? Nobody knew her. But now we have to mention her name every year because of her stand with Muslim alayhi salam. Because of her noble stand, noble sacrifice with Muslim. See how God rewards you when you stand with Ahlul Bayt? When you do something good, God is going to celebrate you. Her name is being celebrated every year, this lady. So she opened the door. She said to him, "What do you want?" He said, "I'm thirsty. Can you give me some water?" She said, "Of course." She brought him a cup of water. Then she opened the door again. He was standing there. She said to him, "Didn't you drink?" He said, "Yes." She said, "I don't permit you to stand here. You are a stranger. I don't know you. And I am a lonely lady here. So please leave my house." At that moment he stood. He said to her, "Ya amatallah, laysa li fi hada al-Misr ahlun wala ashira." I don't have any family. I don't have any friends. She said, "Identify you. Who are you?" He said, "Ana Muslim ibn Aqil. I am the ambassador of Imam Hussein." "Are you really Muslim?" She said, "Yes, I am Muslim ibn Aqil. People betrayed me here." She said, come in, ahlan wa sahlan, you are most welcome. You are the ambassador of my master, Imam Hussein alayhi salam. انقطع به الدرب ذيك المسية وصل بيته ونده راعي الحمية. He did not know where to go, so he reached that house. And then he called upon Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. "Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, you are my uncle, take care of me." So she opened the door for him. He came in, she presented him with some food. He refused to eat that night. He said, "I am only thirsty, bring me only water." So, and then he stayed in her room, in her house, in one of the rooms. He spent the night in communion with Allah, in prayers, in dua, in istighfar. But he took a brief nap. He was so tired. When he took a nap, he saw in his dream his uncle Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says to him, "Ya Muslim, anta qabilun ilayna sari'a." You're going to join me here in paradise very soon. So that was an indication that this is the last night in his life. So at the break of the dawn, they realized, they discovered his place. They sent a battalion of soldiers to capture him. They failed in capturing him. They sent a second group, a third group, and he was fighting courageously until they dig a hole for him. While he was fighting, he fell in that hole. So they attacked him with their arrows, with their swords. And then he was thirsty, very thirsty. They brought him some water to drink, but because of his wounds, the water turned into blood. The first time he couldn't drink. He asked for water the second time again because his lips were bleeding. So the cup was filled with the blood the second time. The third time, you know what he said? He said, لو كان من الرزق المقسوم لشربته. If God had intended for me to drink this water, I would have done so. But God does not want Hussein and his companions to drink water. God wants wants this group to go back to him thirsty. Imagine Imam Hussein at the bank of the Euphrates. Him and his family and his children, they go thirsty. So they attacked him, they captured him, they handcuffed him. And Ta'a came, she pleaded to them, please release him. This is the cousin of a Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a noble man, he came to help us. And he apologized to her, but he said to her one thing, Ta'a, Lady Ta'a, in a few days, a family is going to come to this city. The family of Hussein is going to pass through the market of Kufa, the street of Kufa. When you see their women and their children, give them Muslim, sends his salam and his greetings to you. They captured him. They took him to Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, to the palace of the governor, Qasr al-Imara. He interrogated him, and then he asked him to go to the rooftop of that building. So he went. They took him. He turned towards Mecca where Imam Hussein was there. He said, Ya Aba Abdullah, I'm so sorry, Ya Aba Abdullah. I'm sorry for writing you a letter and asking you to come. We have been betrayed, Ya Aba Abdullah. I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about you, Ya Aba Abdullah. What those people are going to do with you and your family. He did 2 rak'ah of prayers. They beheaded him. Inna lillah وإنا إليه راجعون فيا ابن عقيل فدتك النفوس لعظم رزيتك الفادحة فلا برحت هاطلات الدموع تحييك غادية رائحة لأنك لم تروى من شربة ثناياك فيها غدا الطائحة. Alas, he went without drinking water. They decapitated him. They separated his head from his body, and then they tossed his body to the ground of Kufa. They started dragging him in the streets of Kufa. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. After a few days, Imam Hussein was on his way from Mecca to Karbala. In one of the resting stations, some people approached him who had just arrived from Kufa. They said to him, Ya Aba Abdullah, we have a news. Can we share this news in public or in a private? He said, no, in public, because all those who are around me are my friends, my brothers, my confidants. So you can share it. They said, Ya Aba Abdullah, Azzamallahu lakal ajr. May Allah reward you. Muslim ibn Aqil has been murdered in Kufa. Ya Aba Abdullah, Imam Hussein was heartbroken. The first thing he did, he went into the women's section. His sister Ruqayya Sughra, the sister of Imam Hussein, she was married to Muslim ibn Aqil, and she had a daughter, the niece of Imam Hussein. Her name is Hamida. Imam Hussein was wondering, how can I break the news to this little baby, little girl, who was so attached to her father, Muslim ibn Aqil. So you know what Imam Hussein did? He went into the women's section. He asked for Hamida to come. When she came, he hugged her, he kissed her, and he started wiping her head, her hair. She said, Aba Abdullah, uncles, is there something wrong? Is my father okay or not? She realized something happened to her father. He said to her, my daughter, my sweetie, don't worry, I'm going to be your father. I'm going to take care of you. She said, but no, Uncle Aba Abdullah, I'm not sad for the departure of my father, but I know you are going to follow him soon. I am sad for your departure, Ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. Please raise your hand with a broken heart, with rolling tears. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the healing of those who are sick, for the healings of our hearts. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the protection of our families, communities, the young generation, our daughters, our sons, for the protection of the mu'mineen worldwide. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to expedite the return, the reappearance of our Mawla, our leader, our Imam al-Hujjah alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma shafi kulla mareed. Allahumma munna ala mardana bil-shifa'i wal-afiyah. Allahumma taqabbal minna hadha al-yasir bi-lutfika wa karamik. We ask Allah to keep us on the path of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, on the path of his companions. We ask Allah to give us this privilege to be able to go and visit the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. and his companions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us on the day of judgment, in the mahshar, on the day of judgment, to see the bright face of Imam Hussein and the illuminating face of his grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the father of Imam Hussein, Amir al-Mu'mineen, on that day, on the day of mahshar. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات نهدي ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، يا حسين 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 يا حسين.
Hussein, Ya 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 Hussein. Brothers, please listen to the chorus. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to Karbala, 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 I left my heart in Karbala. With me, from Karbala, Karbala, Karbala to I left my heart in Karbala. From to I left my heart in Karbala. From to the luminous moon lighting my way, the rising sun that brightens my day. Heaven without you would be in flames. You're the heaven of Karbala. Your visitors offer you the hand, and these will never understand? How can the water lose to the sand? How can the thirst win in Karbala? Boy, heaven is opening, Ya Hussein. Boy, angels descending, Ya Hussein. Boy, they are reciting in Karbala from Karbala to Karbala. Here I left my heart in Karbala. Once again from Karbala to Karbala. Here I left my heart in Karbala. The luminous moon lighting my way, the rising sun that brightens my day. Heaven without you would be in flames. You're the heaven of Karbala. Your visitors offer you their hands. Enemies will never understand. How can the water lose to the sand? How can the thirst win in Karbala? Boy, heaven is opening, Ya Hussein. Boy, angels descending, Ya Hussein. Boy, they are reciting in Karbala from Karbala to Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. Once again from Karbala to Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. The hand of God that nurtures the young, speaking for Allah, you are the tongue. Yet the hand of God that nurtures the young, speaking for Allah, you are the tongue, separating his right from the wrong, elevated in Karbala. The ship that sails swiftly through the waves, and whoever boards your ship is saved, immune from the punishment of the grave. Whoever mourned you in Karbala, when will we meet again, Ya Hussein? When under your dome I will live again. From Najaf will I walk to Karbala. From Karbala to Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. Once again from Karbala to Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. The hand of God that nurtures the young, speaking for Allah, you are the tongue, separating his right from the wrong, elevated in Karbala. The ship that sails swiftly through the waves, and whoever boards your ship is saved, immune from the punishment of the grave. Whoever mourned you in Karbala, when will we meet again, Ya Hussein? When under your dome will I breathe again? From Najaf will I walk to Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. To Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. To Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala again. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. To Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. One more time. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. To Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. To Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है, 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 ओए कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है, कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है, पैगंबर का गला काट रहा है, कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है, जारी है लबे शाह पे तस्बीह इलाही, जारी है लबे शाह पे तस्बीह इलाही, शाहरग नहीं तू जिक्र खुदा काट रहा है, कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है, कातिल शबीर दरिया से पैगंबर का गला काट रहा है, कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है, राहों में किसी शख्स ने सजाद से पूछा, राहों
से पूछा क्या जुर्म है, क्यों सख्त सजा काट रहा है। कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। ए कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। ए कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। ए कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। दरियास्ल पैगंबर का गला काट रहा है। कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। ए कातिल तू क्या काट रहा है। ए तू क्या नेज़े की अड़ी चादर ज़ैना में अड़ी है। नेज़े की अड़ी चादर ज़ैना में अड़ी है। नेज़ा सर ज़ैनब की रिदा काट रहा है। कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। ए कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। ए कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। दरियास्ल पैगंबर का गला काट रहा है। कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। कानों में सकीना के है रेत के ज़र्रे। कानों में सकीना के है रेत के ज़र्रे। हर ज़र्रा ही कांटे की तरह काट रहा है। कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। ए कातिल शबीर तू क्या काट रहा है। मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना। मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना। मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना। बिन ज़हरा को नहरों ने दिया लोगों ने। बिन्त ज़हरा को नहरों ने दिया लोगों ने। गम के दरियाओं को आंखों, गम के दरियाओं को आंखों से बहाए रखना। मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए 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 रखना। शबीर की कंदील, शबीर की कंदील जलाए रखना। मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना। आँख पे सोएगी ज़ैनब तो ये मर जाएगी, खाक पे सोएगी ज़ैनब तो ये मर जाएगी, अपने सीने पे सकीना, अपने सीने पे सकीना को सुलाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना। गम शबीर की कंदील, गम शबीर की कंदील जलाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना। जाते शबीर ने रो रो के कहा ज़ैनब से, जाते शबीर ने रो रो के कहा ज़ैनब से, मेरे सजा देखो मकतल, मेरे सजा देखो मकतल से बचाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए 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 रखना। गम शबीर की कंदील, गम शबीर की कंदील जलाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना। एक जुदा मौत है दुनिया में अली असगर की, एक जुदा मौत है दुनिया में अली असगर की, झूला मासूम का ज़ैनो, झूला मासूम का ज़ैनो में झुलाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास के परचम को उठाए रखना, मेरे अब्बास बरेला बन के सवाली तेरे हुजूर, बरेला बन के सवाली तेरे हुजूर, दामन में अपने लाए बे इंतहा कसूर, लेकिन हमारे सीनों पे मातम का देख नूर, अपने नबी के सदके में बख्शेगा तू जरूर।